A K motor in anything, in our opinion, oftentimes makes it a little more fun, a little more special. Welcome to our continuing pursuit to K-swap the world. We've got 3 of the coolest K-swap cars on the planet right here, right now, thanks to Tuning by Nick. So let's take them for a drive, starting with the most affordable option, the Boxster. Out here on TMP, my home away from home in the K-swapped Boxster. This has a K24 in it that Nick says made about 250 at the wheel. So a very healthy K24. It's sort of like optimized OEM parts in this car. And pretty impressive that it's making that kind of power without like cams or anything fancy happening. Obviously running a Link ECU since Nick uses Link on all of his K-swapped Porsche projects. And I know it's on track 1 coilovers. It's on big 255 Nankang AR1s. And this is its maiden voyage. Nick's literally driven it around the block at his shop a couple of times just to make sure nothing falls off. But this is really its shakedown. So I'm just gonna ease into it here and see how it feels. But so far, I gotta say the K sounds great in this car. The very short exhaust system gives it a deeper tone than a K typically has, and it's not raspy at all either, which I think is a good thing since Ks are known to be quite raspy and high in NVH, and it doesn't feel rattly either. So something about a rear mounted short exhaust K really works remarkably well. And it's got that K throttle response. I'm sure it'll rev to 8K or whatever Nick set the red line up to. So coming around to the front straight here, and let's give it a full pull and see how it feels. Okay, 7,800. That's one way to find out. Oh, the pedal spacing is really nice in this car. It's almost like Porsche knows what it's doing. Tons of front end grip. Wow, really good. Wow, it's got like no shakes, nothing scary happening. Not even any tire rub with 255s up front, which is pretty impressive. The K-tuned shifter box is set up really aggressively, tight gates and short throws, but it feels good. Okay, little burbly through there on like partial throttle, but that's easily tuned out. The brakes are really interesting. It does feel like it's got maybe more front brake than rear. This is a custom brake kit that Tuning by Nick actually makes. I believe he's using like a Cayenne front caliper, and then he moves the front calipers on the car to the rear, and then he runs like a 997 rotor, but it's got tons of stopping power. I'm just a little wary of the rear end because A, it's mid-engine, and B, it's on a non-staggered tire setup, so 255s all around. But it feels really good so far. It does nosedive a little on heavy braking there, which makes the rear end feel quite light. For a car that's never been driven in anger before, wow, I am super impressed. Nick's done a hell of a job getting this car ready. And obviously the appeal is a Boxster is a very affordable chassis and a very good sports car, but it does have those, IMS bearing issues. It's got some reliability issues with the engine. So being able to swap in a basically OEM plus K24 and have this kind of reliable and very affordable horsepower at your disposal is pretty remarkable. And this is just NA. This isn't even turbocharged. So like the potential to make a lot more power is obviously there, as you'll see in the 996 and the 997. Wow, overall I'm really blown away by how well this car works already. It's with a bit more time getting it dialed in setup wise, this thing would turn a screaming lap time around here, and more importantly, just be a super fun car to drive. Alright guys, I'm going to cool it down here. There's a couple of, 8 or 9 tenths laps there. I'm not pushing it to the ragged edge, being that this is still in development, and so I won't have a lap time to report to you, but I can tell you that this is already a very quick car. Like, this thing would be down deep in the low 120s. Would not be difficult to get this car into the high teens with a little bit of setup time. It is very capable, and man, I just love the fact that we've got a Porsche sports car chassis with one of my favorite engines in the world in the rear. We got to really have a chat with Nick about it to find out what this kit is going to cost, when it's going to be available. But for you guys out there who love the idea of a very affordable Porsche that you can take to the track and beat on it, this might be the hot ticket. Fellas, now stuff gets serious. We are in the turbocharged 996. I'm going to warm it up here. I'm not going to beat on it right away, but this is a K24Z7 or Z7 for you Americans, which has that integrated intake or exhaust side manifold, although Nick has replaced it with one of his own, specifically designed for this engine bay, obviously. And this is his full 996 K-swap kit in place here. That kit is now for sale, since he's got about a dozen of these kits out in the wild already, which is impressive since this is still his development car, but it's got a bunch more time in it on the street than the Boxster did, obviously, since this was the Boxster's first real drive in anger. So I expect this car to feel a little bit more refined, and being a 911, a 996 911, it's going to have its own characteristics as once I start to push it a little bit harder, being rear-engined rather than mid-engined. But wow, I can tell you already the steering feel in a 996 is really good. They do push on throttle though. They're notorious for understeering on throttle, so you have to really be patient with the gas to get the most out of them. And I imagine that's still going to feel the same in this car, although it probably is a little lighter in the rear now because the K24 is going to be a lighter engine than the 996's stock engine would be. But it does still run the 996 gearbox, and it's running a 58mm turbo. I don't know the exact power numbers on the dyno, but I know his 997 makes like high 400s, so I'm guessing this is kind of the same. It'll be, mid to high 400s. I don't know if he's turned it up or down for me. It's really just about the experience of trying a 996 with a turbo K24 in it, isn't it? So let's give it a bit of a blast here and see how it feels. Okay, there is horsepower, fellas. There is horsepower. Wow. It sounds so good too. Like, I'm blown away how good a turbo K24 sounds in the back end of a Porsche. You would not know this is a K series engine the way it sounds. It's got a really deep, burly tone to it. Wow, it hustles. It really hustles. I know it's got Hawk HB Plus front brake pads on it, so it does have a more aggressive front pad. The Boxster was on a stock pad, and it is on Continental Extreme Contact Sport tires. So a nice grippy summer tire, not a full track tire, but still, as you can see, Lots of grip there. Wow. This thing boogies, boys. This thing boogies. Brakes are super powerful. Nick's done a really nice job on this brake kit. Again, this is his in-house brake kit using Cayenne front calipers and 997 rotors. I don't know if it has ABS or not. The racer in me wants to find out, but the responsible friend in me doesn't want to go sticking Nick's car in the weeds here. But it's got excellent traction, and that's really the trick with these 911s is they have so much traction on power because of all the weight over the rear tires. They just stick the power down. Ergonomics in here are excellent too, as you'd expect with a Porsche product. Really good pedal spacing for heel and toe. I love the steering wheel that Nick's put in here with the NSX horn button and the DC5 Recaros. So there's some homage being paid to his Honda roots. Man, this thing is a blast. It really goes. Feels very stable on the brakes. Doesn't have as much nosedive and light rear end characteristics that the Boxster was exhibiting. So this car feels more dialed in and track ready. And I'm sure the Boxster will get there with a little bit of adjustment to its setup, but this thing feels just ready to party. Man, it scoots. I want to just push it harder and harder, which I will do. I will give it a little extra stick there for you guys. But I don't know how hot it's going to run. It is a hot day here. This is a turbo K24, the back of a 911, so I don't know if she's going to overheat on me. I assume Nick's got all the safeties turned on. There's a little tire spin there for you. Let's go, fellas. Let's go. This thing is a hoot. I love it. Man, I've always loved 996s. I don't know why. Something about the balance of them. A lot of people dislike the fried egg headlights and the way they push on throttle, but I just feel really at home in these cars. I love the way they feel at the limit. What a machine this is. And look at it, like it gets down to the apex, no problem. Steering is very direct, really good feel. Wow. All right, guys, I'm getting greedy here. I'm not gonna beat on it any longer here. I think I've felt what I need to feel, and the feelings are good. The feelings are good. This thing works so well. It feels like it could have been delivered from the factory this way. There's no holes in the tune. There's no hiccups. You know, like Nick's obviously spent more time with this car on the dyno and on the street dialing the tune in, and it just feels perfect. It feels the way you would expect a car to drive, even just cruising at like very low throttle here. With the turbo K24 setup, basically the exact same powertrain as the 996 car that I just drove, just in the newer, more sophisticated, more refined, much nicer interior, no patina, GT3 body kit. This is Nick's first K-swapped 911, and it's been around for a good 4 or 5 years now. In fact, we did a full review of it on our channel with Pete driving it with Nick here at TMP, so we'll put a link in the description to that video. All the details are there, so if you want more than I'm going to offer over the next minute or so, then go watch that video. But I'm really just giving this car a shake so that I can see if it feels any different than the 996. It is on a slightly different tire size, again Continental Extreme Contact Sport, but in a 245 front, 325 rear, I think Nick said. So quite a lot more rear tire, a bit more front tire, and it's also on a more aggressive braking setup. It's got GT3 front brakes and Paget pads, which is a super baller pad. But the power delivery feels very similar to the 996, and this car does have a different feel. The gearbox spacing is a little different. The shifter throws are a little longer, not quite as racy feeling as the 996, and it doesn't have that light front end that the 996 has. It feels like it's a little bit more balanced. I don't know if that's you know, changes in geometry or what Porsche did there. You guys will know better than me, but it does feel less prone to that throttle on understeer that the 996s are known for. Wow, this thing hauls ass, guys. Interesting, the pedal spacing's a little different for heel and toe. The throttle sits a little lower, so I gotta reach a little more for it. Tons of grip there though. Gearing seems a little longer in this car. It does have a 997 gearbox, where the 996 is running a 996 gearbox, so maybe there's some ratios that differ there a little bit. Feel the grip though, like on power. The on power traction that 911s have is just so nice. And oh, a little tire spin there. It does have enough power, fellas. It does have enough power. It feels really well balanced, actually. Like the power to like chassis feel is just excellent. Feels very happy at this power level. The brakes feel mega strong. Oh yeah, really good front end grip too there. God, it just feels like a proper sports car. And yeah, I know it's a 911. Not too surprising to hear that. But you never know with a car like this where you've really changed the characteristic of it with a drivetrain swap, if it's going to feel radically different or not. It's just so good. I'm in love with these things. I think Pete and I, we need to build one. Well, Nick, I'm a fan.
I'm glad.
I'm on board.
Excellent.
These are awesome. I mean, obviously you've used a recipe that Peter and I are fans of. A K motor in anything, in our opinion, oftentimes makes it a little more fun, a little more special, hopefully a little more affordable, a little more reliable too. And the character of these three cars is really what surprised me the most. They all feel very different.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they are different cars and different generations of the same car.
But they're all Porsches with K-series.
They are all Porsches with K-series, and they all still drive like Porsches.
Yeah.
The Boxster still felt like a Boxster. The 996 still felt like a 996. The 997 still felt like a 997, just with a different characteristic of power in the back. And the NA versus turbo was a really interesting contrast to me too.
I think so, yeah.
Like the Boxster being light, but NA just felt really rowdy. It felt like a track car. It felt like you want to thrash on it. It just felt like a party car. Mm-hmm. Where the 996 and the 997 especially feel more refined, more like street cars that you can take to the track and have a blast with at the track. But they do feel like a more substantial car and a more refined car, especially a 997. Obviously that's the car you built first and you've spent the most time developing. Yeah. So it does have that more sort of refined feel. But the 996 might have stole my heart today, Nick. I don't know why.
I love that car.
I don't know if it's the patina or the stance.
That car has a ton of character.
It does.
It came from Hawaii.
Like, yeah, is that why it's all so faded?
That's why it's all faded. That's why it's all sun damaged.
Okay.
So
what did it cost you?
I paid $8,000 for the shell, basically.
Wow. Okay. It had a broken motor.
Had a broken engine. Yeah.
Which is obviously what you want to find if you're K-swap.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. And what would a 997 with a broken motor cost you?
The going rate's about 20.
Okay. Yeah. And what about a Boxster of this generation?
Well, this Boxster I bought as a rolling chassis, no drivetrain at all, but everything as you see it. For $4,000. $4,000. Canadian.
Wow. Yeah. So that's like 50 cents American.
Yeah, exactly.
That is wild. And that makes a pretty compelling case for an affordable track car, especially since you don't have the added cost of a turbo setup.
Yep, exactly.
So I know this kit isn't ready for sale yet.
We're still developing it. We're torture testing it. That's why it's here today. We're going to torture test this thing, make sure everything works as we intend it to. And then, very soon it'll be available.
So the one question everyone is screaming at the screen right now is, but how much, Nick? How much?
Exactly,
They can obviously go to your website, tuningbynick.com, and get pricing there. But can you kind of give us a ballpark
cost for the 996 and 997 kit?
That's like the #1 question. What does it cost? And I always try to like compare it to what would an engine replacement on one of these cost? $25,000, $30,000+.
Yeah.
So cost-wise, if you're gonna go turbo and K, it's probably gonna be close to that total cost.
Okay.
The NA is significantly cheaper because you don't have to deal with the turbo setup, but it is going to be roughly about the same cost as an engine replacement on one of these cars, the blown engine.
Okay.
But the benefit here is that you have an inexpensive engine at the heart of it. So you go and spend all this money to swap this engine in, and then you don't really have to ever worry about the engine ever again. If you go and spend that $30,000+ rebuilding the Porsche engine, in the back of your mind, you might think that that engine might fail again.
You're going to be into this again in another 5 years.
Whereas
yes.
this K-swap, it's pricey because of all the parts that you need to do it.
Sure.
But once it's done, like all the parts are inexpensive individually. If you need a new engine, it's like $1,000.
And that's true with any engine swap. I mean, we've done lots of engine swaps and we know what the price creep is like. There's just no way to swap an engine now for less than 10 grand. And then when you add turbos and stuff, it'll get to 20K pretty quickly. So it sounds like you could get one of these swaps done for like 15 on the NA end to like 30 at the high end on the turbo kits. So that gives you guys an idea. But the power is another issue that we should talk about because you're making a lot more power than the stock motors would make,
more power,
so like what would a 996 make this car would have made with a stock motor?
225, 240 wheel horsepower.
Right
now this one with its quiet exhaust, smaller turbo makes 400 wheel horsepower.
Okay.
So significantly more power. More reliable. The Boxster, these make about 200 wheel horsepower. I have a dynograph of 200 wheel horsepower for a similar Boxster. This one with this K24 makes 252 wheel horsepower.
I'm amazed, 250. And that's all OEM parts you're telling me.
This is an all OEM Honda K24. No aftermarket upgrades.
And one other thing I'll mention, these motors sound great in the back of a car. The short exhaust system gives them a much deeper tone. There's no rasp. There's no sense that these are NVH engines that are trying to tear themselves apart the way they feel in front engine cars. So it really doesn't add a lot of NVH, which normally is a downside with K-series motors, and it doesn't give you a sound that you're kind of like embarrassed by. It actually sounds great.
No, it doesn't sound wrong.
It doesn't. It doesn't sound wrong at all. So to me, that would have been like a concern in my mind, thinking about doing this conversion on a Porsche. But knowing now how good they sound, the power they make, the reliability they offer, it's a pretty compelling stuff.
I think so.
Well, that is a wrap on this one, guys. But before we go, what's next for you? Is there another kit in the development chain here?
Exactly. So now that we're finished with this Boxster, the next car is our Cayman. We're doing, it's basically the same swap, but in the Cayman chassis. And it's gonna be a K24 as well. It's gonna be turbo. I think it's gonna be really awesome.
All right, well, there's a future video there for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you're looking forward to a turbo Cayman in the future. And I hope you're looking forward to more Turbo K stuff on Speed Academy, because we've got something up our sleeve too, don't we, PT?